We'll move on now to the box office results for the weekend. This was a very, very good weekend. When all the Thursday preview stuff comes, when the estimates on Friday come, it's like who's going to be on top. We had a 4-horse race for who can take the number one spot this weekend. But the results are as follows. So, number one, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse jumps back up into first with 19.3 million. Elemental, 18.5 million. The Flash, 15.2 million. No Hard Feelings, 15.1 million. Transformers Rise of the Beast with 11.6 million. So for this weekend here, it's the first time since 2014 that a movie has debuted at number one and then jumped back to number one in their fourth weekend and been second or third or whatever in their second and third weekend. Since Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014, it's the first time it's happened. So that's 9 years nearly that something has happened like this. Elemental, second best hold since Up. I think it dropped like 39% its second weekend. So clearly people know that it's out now and people are going to go see it. The Flash dropped like 70%. I think it's when actuals come in tomorrow, it could have the biggest comic book second weekend drop of all time. Close to Morbius, which is around that 73, 74 mark. And yeah, No Hard Feelings and original comedy there. What are your thoughts on some of the takeaways for this box office weekend?
Good on Spider-Man. I was always predicted really to take the number one spot back. Good to see Elemental give it a run for its money though.
Yeah.
I think the marketing really hurt that film very poorly. Like if Pixar actually marketed it like it does for its other films, I think it would be a lot higher, probably number one.
Yeah.
The Flash. Not even surprised by that. I've been seeing stuff for a week how it's going to drop that bad, and I just don't understand because, yeah, it's not that great of a movie, but it's like not the worst that DC's put out.
100%, yeah.
So I don't really understand where this big drop's coming from. Maybe it's because people are sick of superhero movies now. Maybe people are sick of like average sort of superhero movies now.
Yeah.
Visual effects doesn't help, I guess, as also. So yeah, I don't really understand why the Flash is getting like so much slack for when you have stuff like literally the Suicide Squad out and Morbius. You know, like they are infinitely worse than what we saw in Flash.
Yeah.
I guess it also. The whole like nostalgia part, that main scene at the end was all really CGI'd or wasn't actual people.
Oh, the spoiler effect kind of sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess like that big like oh my gosh moment was like ugh.
Yeah.
Really. But yeah, I'd see this dropping a lot more in its third week, right? Because Indie comes out this week.
Indie comes out this week. Yeah. I would say that it has a better drop, but still, you're looking at like, it'll make 15.2. It might make 5 million next weekend.
We'll probably either out of the top 5 or 5th, I reckon.
You could be right because Transformers dropped 44%. That's really stabilized
good.
Heavy, yeah.
That's good. That's good. Good film as well. Not good film, but it's like decent, enjoyable film as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Spider-Verse will hold the second spot next weekend. Indiana Jones will take on that number one.
Yeah.
I think Indy will be 1, Spider-Verse 2, and Elemental 3.
Yeah. What do you think about No Hard Feelings? Because that's an original rom-com movie with, an A-lister star, or maybe B-lister now, star at the forefront of it. 15 million, I think it's pretty promising.
I think it's really, I mean, you said it before, it's sold out when you try to go see it. So I guess
New Zealand's just different. We're built different than
I guess all these cinemas that are selling out in terms of these big 4 blockbusters, everyone's already there at the movie theaters, so they don't really want to go home. So the next backup is a Jennifer Lawrence movie because they know the actress, and they want to go see what it's like. So that's a guess.
It's a great backup movie though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that as a backup. Haven't seen it. You haven't seen it either.
No. I want to see it this week. But, like if you go to, or if you want to go to like Spider-Man or Elemental and it's sold out, it's like, okay, what's available? And they're like, oh, No Hard Feelings, an R-rated comedy. It's like, oh, okay, awesome. That sounds like a fun time. So I think it's awesome, like counter-programming to like everything we have now. Yeah. As you say, the palate cleanser. That's your infamous term for it.
The palate cleanser.
Yeah. But no, these are very interesting results. Elemental, I did predict that you got to stop looking for him. He's not showing up again.
I want it.
Nayan's eyes are darting everywhere. He's trying to look for the mouse that we found, but he's gone. I think us trying to find him really scared him away, so he's probably gone for now.
I'm sad.
But yeah, no, I'm glad that Elemental held up. As you said, I think a lot more people are aware that it's out. People are obviously sharing the message that it's actually a good movie. The A Cinema score obviously speaks for itself. While B Cinema score on The Flash, that's clearly taking a toll now. That's very low for a comic book movie. And as you said, people I think are very selective when it comes to, their superhero movies now.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Spider-Verse versus Flash scenario here, which is kind of demonstrating that. As for its final run, this is something interesting that I learned today. Flash is looking around to finish its run around 280 million to 310 million total worldwide.
Fuck, that's so bad.
Its budget was 220. The marketing budget was 150 million.
It's going to be a loss at this point.
It's going to be a loss because what they get from box office is 50%, perhaps even probably at the 40 to 50% mark is what the studio gets back. So it's not even enough to cover its marketing fund, 150 million. So if Warner Brothers dropped this thing on Max, it would have lost less money than dropping it as it's done now. How crazy is that?
That's 2 big L's in a row for DC because didn't Shazam not make it as well?
Oh, yeah, that was really bad too. And remember that Batgirl movie that they filmed and didn't even
got
release?
Cancelled.
Yeah, they filmed it all and everything.
Yep, and then they just decided to lock it in a vault and you should have just released it in some sort of form so you can at least make as much money back from all that stuff. Especially if it's finished as well. So stupid. And now you have Blue Beetle coming out as well. That's probably going to follow the same trend.
I feel like Blue Beetle might be a little bit better because did you hear the news that it's part of the DCU, the new DC?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, James Gunn confirmed that he's in the DCU, the character. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I think Aquaman's going to definitely bomb. That's going to.
You think it's going to bomb?
Yeah.
If it was to release any other time, I think it would bomb. You have the Amber Heard stuff, and that was one of the biggest topics globally last year, so that it could factor in. But if it captures the same, I guess, fun adventure that the first one did, and it releases in Christmas time with not much competition, Christmas and New Year's is a huge, period for box office. I don't think a bomb will come, but I think it's going to be about half of what the first one did, which was like 1.1 million, something like that. It's definitely not going to be as good, but The Flash, just absolutely horrible. And I do agree with you. It's not a bad movie. It's a fine movie. It's an average movie. I think, what did we give? Between 6 and 7, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we gave it about a 6.5. And I think that it still deserves it. Sure, the CGI is bad and stuff like that. But I think, the general audio movie-going audience, I just don't think they care about it. We obviously understand there's Flashpoint elements, there's Michael Keaton's Batman. I don't think much people care about that anymore. The whole DC franchise is a mess. There's no connectivity. So I think once James Gunn's, DCU starts to play out, we'll get a better sense of where DC is. But other than that, man, those Elseworlds, the Batman and Joker, they are the ones carrying
DC.
The DC brand because it's in big trouble. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting weekend next weekend. My next prediction for box office though, Indiana Jones, another big bomb. Big flop is incoming for that movie. Honestly, it's going to open up between 60 and 70 million. Probably get around 130 to 150 million worldwide opening weekend. Same as The Flash. Cost $300 million.
Oh, Jesus, my goodness.
Yeah.
300.
It doesn't look like a $300 million movie.
No, because we saw it. So I'm just trying to decide where the hell they put the money to.
I know that a lot of budgets have been inflated recently due to COVID and extra precautions, all that kind of stuff. I think Dead Reckoning's like 250, 270 or something like that.
That's been like delayed like 1,000 times as well.
It has, yeah. And and obviously Fast X was 340. So yeah, but then you got like Avatar, which is like 450 million. But you can see where they put that money.
Maybe 300 is going to become the new norm.
Yeah, I don't know if it was due to COVID inflation or natural inflation, because we're obviously going through like at least a New Zealand recession, so inflated costs of goods and services and all that kind of stuff are attributing to it. So perhaps that becomes the new norm without it actually looking like a $300 million movie.
Mm-hmm.
They still look like $200 million movies. So maybe it is our new like normality in terms of movie budgets. But yeah, the box office keeps getting more interesting, and it's leading up to that the big battle that's been mean for like a good year now.
The Battle of the Titans.
We're going to get to that soon.